What is going on, everybody? It's I actually just got off work, so it's like 10 at night. But we're gonna run up to Walmart real fast and grab a couple things. It was the last video. I think it was the last video where we made the cat hotel. Pretty sure it was the last one. That only worked for food and just a place for them to relax. The litter box didn't fit in there, so we ended up getting a different box, or like cabinet, nightstand, table thing. I honestly don't know what this thing is, but we ended up getting a different one, and it was bigger, so we used that for the litter box. It had a shelf in there, just took the shelf out. Made a slightly bigger hole because some of the other cats were hesitant to use the one that we made in the video, so I thought a bigger hole might be a little bit more inviting, although more room for litter box smells to escape, and that's kind of the task today. But I took the shelf out, just cut a big hole, and that was that, which is why it wasn't a video or anything. Plus I had nothing else going on that day, so it wouldn't have made a very good video at all. But yeah, it smells really bad. So I'm going to Walmart really fast before they close. I'm getting two things. First one is Segway. I haven't seen a Segway in forever. I'm getting two things. One thing I'm getting is a litter box scoop, because apparently nobody has one, or Amanda doesn't have one. I don't know how that worked. And the second thing I'm getting is a air freshener. My plan is to put the shelf I took out back in there, even if it's super high up. Cut a little hole for scents to come through. But basically put an air freshener in there to kind of work on killing the smells in there. I don't know how well that's going to work, but that's my plan anyway. Because once it's in there, it's bad. And it's not even full, it's not like it's being neglected or anything, it's just, it's bad, because we just set this up like 2 days ago. But yeah, that's the plan. Alright, so apparently, they make this stuff that just goes in litter boxes, or buy them, or whatever, which is nice, because A, I couldn't figure out where to find actual air fresheners, because I never buy those. And Walmart updated their app, so it doesn't tell you where to go anymore, which is a step backwards, I suppose, but I was right there, so it made it work. Plus, that also means I don't have to put a shelf up there. The only reason I was doing anything with the shelf was just in case a cat gets curious and tries to eat the air freshener. But I'm assuming this stuff's probably safe to be right there, since it's designed to go in cages and stuff too. So it's just gonna go right in there. And then I got some toys and stuff for the dogs, because I like dogs more than I like cats anyway. And I've never had these, but we're gonna try it, because I think it's gonna be a late night tonight. Amanda actually works really early in the morning. I don't. I've actually got nothing going on tomorrow except for work, later in the afternoon. And usually I have to be up early tomorrow, but there's just some stuff that happens, so I don't have to be up early tomorrow, so I've got nothing going on tomorrow. So I think I'm going to seize the opportunity to be a little bit productive tonight, and get the Jeep that's in our front yard working, or closer to it. That's alright. Alright, so we got it mostly put back together here. The issue that we're running into is basically it's just not starting. So what'll happen is it'll crank, it'll try to turn over, but it's just not, it's acting like it's not getting fuel or spark. I'm siding with fuel because if you fill the intake with anything flammable, like I mentioned before, it'll start to run, accelerator does nothing. So when we lifted up the intake this last time, the fuel was never, or the main reel line was never disconnected. Every other time I've gone through and disconnected it, that never happened this time. So I got some fuel line disconnects because the ones that we had just disappeared. And I'm just going to undo it, see if fuel runs out of it, plug it back in and try to start it, and see if maybe there is some sort of vapor lock or something going on. That's all I can think of. Also, change shirts, because I got my Cletus merchandise today, my Cletus McFarlane stuff, as I'm sure you can notice by the sunglasses too. So we're going to see if the power of Cletus and Jack Sand can run through my veins here and help get this thing going. But basically all we've got really is a fuel line. This one right here, this fuel line just gotta get disconnected. Alright, well I was able to get this side of the fuel line disconnected. It did have fuel flowing through it, and nothing was happening still. Recharge or reprime the system just to make sure that everything was going okay, or doing everything properly by the book, all that. Nothing, same thing, it was just cranking. It wasn't trying to start, just cranking. Pulled the code again, did a little bit of research on the code, because I had a code on there. It was a high circuit air intake temperature sensor thing. So I checked that, and I had actually rewired this because it had broken literally right here. So I rewired it there. Apparently I did it backwards. Didn't think that mattered, but apparently it does. So I switched them, which is why there's masking tape on there, because this was on that side. Make sure I didn't get mixed up, because both wires are blue. It actually helped. Check engine light's not coming back, and it's actually gone, because I don't think I ever actually cleared it. And it's starting to, or trying to start even more. It's not quite there yet, but it's trying. So it started acting like the battery's dying, so I threw it on the battery charger for a little bit. I'll try it one more time real fast. After that I might actually reconnect everything, just to, in the process of elimination here. Where's the key? But it's trying, let's see. No, it's acting like the battery's dying still. So, that's not a good sign. So this is an aftermarket shift knob. I just noticed that. That's neat. Okay, but yeah, so it's getting closer. Just not quite there yet. So I might have to let it charge on the battery charger a little bit longer, because it's just acting like the battery's dying. It's acting like the battery's getting low right now. So I think if I can eliminate that, then maybe it'll start, because it starts to try more than it was. I have to figure out how this battery charger works. It's not mine, it's actually Amanda's dad's. And it is fancy. So I gotta find a manual or something on this thing before I actually keep on the battery charging longer than it was, because I wasn't completely sure that I was charging it right, and I don't want to destroy a battery. Before this was rebuilt, when we had it, he basically thought that it had a bad head gasket for two reasons. One, we think, is one of the pipes for the heater core, the one that I mentioned earlier that wasn't working, might have been leaking, so showed that it wasn't getting, or water was going somewhere, because it kept being low on water. And a couple of the spark plugs had oil on them. So he thought that meant it had a bad head gasket. I was fairly certain it didn't have a bad head gasket, and well, it didn't, but it did have bad seals basically everywhere. So a couple of the spark plugs were soaked in oil. I discovered that when I did the spark plugs on it right after we bought it, and they've never been pulled out for any of this. I see no reason why it shouldn't be getting air, since there's plenty of that. I can't confirm or deny if it's getting fuel, but I think it is. So spark's the only other thing I can think of. So I'm going to pull all these spark plugs and see if any of them look bad. I found one that was super fouled out. Clean that up. All the other ones so far look okay. That one looks okay. Clean that up anyway. But since it is a Hemi, basically what I'm doing is I'm pulling one out of each cylinder. If it looks bad, I'll pull the other one. If it looks good, you know, regardless, I'll clean them up. But if it looks good, I clean that one up and I put it back. And then move on to the next one. Because my theory, I could be completely wrong, but my theory is that if one in that cylinder is good, there's no reason the other one should be bad. So this one looks okay. Alright, well, it is time that I admit defeat. Couple things to unpack though, real quick. Firstly, not impressed with heat waves. While I was cleaning up, I had something fall on me, fell on my head, which, for falling on my head, whatever, I'm not faulting them for that. But already scratched up and pretty bad. If you can see, it wasn't a bad fall. I mean, my Oakleys have fallen way more than that. They're scratched up, but they're not, if they got scratched that bad every time my Oakleys fell, they'd be in a way worse condition than they're at. So, minus a point. Heat waves for that one. These aren't polarized, and I'll have to get polarized ones because I can't stand on polarized lenses. But, yeah, not very happy that they're scratching. I've only had them a day. Alright, well, I actually just finished working on this. I came out here to start, and then his dad actually came by. They're going out for Father's Day, so they dropped the dog off here with us. So I worked on it with him a little bit, which is why I didn't record anything. Last night I was looking at it, last night after the last video, I sat there and I thought about it, and it was really killing me because I had never checked injector voltage. I never checked to see if any power is even getting to the injectors, and at this point I'm almost positive it's fuel. So I couldn't sleep last night. I was sitting there, I was thinking about it, and the more and more I thought about it, the more and more that looked like that was probably the case. So, like I mentioned yesterday or earlier in the video, usually I got to be up early today. Well, I didn't, but my alarm went off still. I woke up and snoozed my alarm, and I could have easily went back to sleep. But shoot, even on the mornings I got to be up early, I usually just go back to sleep. I couldn't sleep. That Jeep was the first thing in my mind. So I laid there for a little while, woke up, and finally I went out there to look at it. Of course, I tested it. We're not getting nothing. So I tested the injectors first. Injectors don't give me nothing. And then from there, I trace it back to the fuse that I think it probably is. Fuse worked. So I go out to the relay. Relay's working, but I also can't find a for sure diagram yet, and I only looked for like 30 seconds. So I'm thinking it's probably something in the relay fuse box that I'm not seeing. So with that, I'm actually going to go in and locate a better diagram, make sure I figure out what's going where, and make sure everything I'm looking at is correct, and go from there. Right now the battery charger's on it because it's starting to die really bad. So while that happens, I'm going to get the wiring diagram figured out. I'll take the battery charger off in a couple hours, and from there, we'll see how it goes. But for this video, I'm actually going to end off right here. I know Amanda's dad's going to come over tomorrow, and we're going to work on it some more. Fingers crossed that does something. He's going to get fuses and relays and all that stuff. So hopefully we can just pop new ones in there, change things, make sure that everything that we're thinking it might be works, and then we can go further from there. Hopefully we don't have to. But I will let you guys know and update you guys in the next video what actually happens and what, you know, if it's still here or not. Hopefully it's not. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.